I'm back from work today, so I thought I'd do some work on testing out the Oratex. I've been looking for some articles around the web, and I found a bunch of different conversation threads where people are getting pretty excited about Oratex. It looks like many people have done their own tests, given it a shot. I haven't seen any videos on it except what Lars and Paul have put out there for Better Aircraft Fabric. So I thought I'd do some of my own. What I did is I've got a couple of frames here that I just threw together with some aluminum angle I got over at the home supply store. And I've got a sample of the UL 600, it's the lighter material, and the UL 6000 is the darker material. So what I'm going to do is get the frames prepped and try this out on the aluminum frames and see how it works. Do a video, show everyone how I did go through it as I'm learning. This is my first try, so I don't know much about it. And, give a demo, show you how hard or easy it is. So, I'll pull my stuff together here and show you what I got. Now first, of course, you need to mix the Oratex hot melt glue. In my last video, I had my package that came in the mail, and there was these two containers in the aluminum styrofoam case. Aluminum styrofoam case. So before I begin, I want to show how the glue is mixed up. I've got the Oratex that comes in two parts here for the hot melt. When I did my opening video with the unboxing, these are in the styrofoam container, the insulated styrofoam container. When they ship these, they want to protect them from freezing, so that was probably a wise decision on their part. You get the A part and the B part. The instructions are very simple here. It just says to mix this in with the A part and then mix it thoroughly. So I've already done that. I've got mine here. They also say for shelf life, once it's mixed, it's got a 6-month shelf life. In unmixed, it's unlimited from what I can understand. So I went ahead and did this. It'll give me a chance, like I said, to try it out. And I'll be working on my airplane within 6 months, so it should be no problem there. So what I'll do is I'll change the angle of the camera to get a little closer so you can see what I'm doing. It's going to be painting the frames. And I'll just talk over some of the things I'm learning about Oratex. So here is the sample that I picked up. Again, when I started this process, I was going to do my airplane in silver. So I ordered a sample set from Better Aircraft Fabric with the silver. And you get a nice information pack, examples of these different airplanes from the European group over in Germany, and a lot of information. If you've been to their website, this is all pretty familiar, so it's good to get that sample information. And then a sample of the fabric, so it's all good stuff there. And then they do provide the samples of both the UL 600 and the UL 6000. As you can see here, the 600 is quite light material. I was reading an article, I think it said something like, I don't know if it was ounces. You know what, I won't even quote that because I don't remember the numbers and I don't want to mislead anyone. But there's the 600, and again, the 6000, obviously with a different color. And this stuff is noticeably heavier. So for heavier aircraft, or they're proposing for LSAs, perhaps like a Piper Cub, anything working up in unimproved fields, put this fabric on the bottom of the airplane, and it would be good and durable to protect the bottom of the plane. So here's the frame, and I've got the hot melt here. They say in the instructions to use artificial fiber brushes when you're applying the adhesive. The natural fibers will get gummed up with the glue, and they say you'll end up with a big ball of cauliflower, so I thought that was pretty good. So use the artificial bristles on your brush and it'll work a lot better. You can go back then and wash it off with hot soap and water, and you'll be set to go. The description of the glue is pretty adequate. To me, it looks a lot like watery Elmer's glue. And you know, from a smell perspective, there's really no smell, which is one of the big advantages for the Oratex. Now, in terms of preparation for the metal, one of the things that they mentioned in there is that you need to take, especially all-clad like I have here, and rough up the surface. The all-clad is so smooth that the Oratex hot melt won't adhere to the surface. The simple approach is to take the green scrubbing pads, or in my case what I did is I had some of those foam sanding pads that have the sanding surface glued to it, and scratch it up thoroughly so that you have a surface that the hot melt can adhere to. So I'm trying to just get a good coating. Again, never done this before, so I'm learning right alongside anybody who's watching this video. Never done it for the first time. They also said, looking at the instructions, that when they're putting this on for the first time, we'll be looking at this tomorrow, that the iron, you only need to go to 212 degrees to activate the glue, and apparently it'll activate closer to 150 degrees, and then you heat it up thoroughly to 212, and at that point it will the hot melt will be fully activated, fully melted, and as you're applying it, you're supposed to apply mechanical pressure to the surface to force the glue into the fabric. And then another part of the preparation process, once you put the hot melt onto the metal surface, it has to dry for 24 hours. Get it good and thoroughly dry. And of course, the 24 hours depends on the humidity level wherever you're at. So if you're in a southern state or somewhere where there's higher humidity, you'll want to give it extra time to dry. But point being, let it dry thoroughly. There's no rush. And as in all projects, good preparation will lead to better results. Now the other part too is to coat the surfaces, and I think they mentioned coating the fabric. So for mine, one of these, I'm going to go ahead and put a coat of the hot melt on the fabric as well, and then the other one I'll do, the second one, I'll do it without hot melt on the fabric. I'm just curious to see what the difference will be. One will be covered with the 600 and the other one will be with the 6000. And then I belong to EAA UL Chapter 1 here in southeast Wisconsin. I want to be able to take these to one of our chapter meetings, do a little show and tell. I think it'd be interesting to show this to folks. Of course, everyone always has a project working, so I'm pretty optimistic about this product. Everything I've seen and everything I read has been very positive. And like I said, Lars and Paul, great guys, very helpful. So spreading the word about this product, I think, would be a good thing. I believe I mentioned in one of my blogs that I took the aircraft covering course through the EAA course program. So I was fortunate enough to go to the EAA grounds up in Appleton and took the course. It was the polyfiber, the Stitz polyfiber course. And boy, let me tell you, that stuff is incredibly noxious. You know, you just had to take a break every now and again just to get fresh air. But I'm not smelling anything here. It's a water-based product. The glue only activates under heat, and it's pretty well contained. So I'm going to go wash that in a couple minutes here. So I'm done with these frames. I'm going to move this one over to the side, move them both out of the way. Okay, so now I'm going to prep this. As a matter of fact, I'll bring this back just to get an idea of what my dimensions are here. See if I have a pencil or a marker. Get a rough idea how wide I need to paint that. There we go. Gives me something to work with there. Okay, shouldn't have closed that. I would imagine that by applying it to the fabric, you're going to get an excellent bond. And again, with the instructions to apply physical force to work the hot melt into the fabric, this would be a time-saving step. So I'll check with Lars and Paul and see if this is absolutely required. My only concern about whether it's required or not would impact how much coverage you get with the hot melt solution here. There we go. I think that's plenty. So the last thing I understand is that once this dries, it becomes clear, and it can be hard to tell if you've actually got it on the surface. So when you're doing it when it's in the white liquid form, it's much easier to tell that you've got good coverage. For anyone who's using wood, again, the instructions are saying you want to make sure that you've got porous surfaces really well sealed. You can put it on bare wood. The problem is that the bare wood will soak it up. And in the example that Lars is talking about, it was basically disastrous results. Is that the person who did it, applied one coat, put it on the wood, let it dry, went to put on the fabric, and it just wouldn't stick. Right? There was not enough of the hot melt on the surface to provide any mechanical bond. So you have the choice to coat multiple times with this to seal the wood and then build up the layers to do the hot melt, or in their instructions, varnish the wood, seal it, make sure that you've got to close all the pores, and then the Oratex will stay on the surface. Well, that's it. I'm going to let it dry for 24 hours, and I'll get back tomorrow evening, and we'll see how it goes with applying the fabric. Got an old iron here. I got a infrared heat gun, or not a heat gun, but a thermometer, infrared thermometer, yeah. Nonetheless, and went over to Sears and picked that up for like 30 or 40 bucks. 40 bucks, yeah. And we'll give it a try, see how that works. Not the best material to do it with, but since I'm learning as I go here, I'll give it a shot.